Okay, let's go on. Okay, so like I said, I used to get things from here before because I think I have a subscription with them and all that. So, but there are a lot of other ones that you can use. So after downloading, we have downloaded. So the first thing you do is that I want to show, if you are using Windows, I want to see where it's downloaded. Okay, it's downloaded there. Okay, and I want to unzip it because I need the content. Okay, so I'll just do what, extract files here because it's zipped. So if you are using WinZip like me or WinRAR, you can extract the files here. So to create a folder, you should have created the folder somewhere. Let's go to this. I don't know, some of my systems are getting slow. Okay, Salo. So it has created the folder. Normally it comes as a folder. So when you open it, you can see everything, both the images, exactly the way it was when we previewed it. The way to press back and see the page again. Okay, so this is the template online, and then we have it here. So the index page is always the home page. I'll click on it so that we can see that it's exactly. Let me go, Sandra. You can see that it's exactly the same thing. Here you can remove this bootstrap header there so that you can see it's exactly the same thing. So what we are just trying to achieve is that we want to build this site. So we have downloaded it, it's on our system. So how do we make use of it and start changing the content? Good. So to do that, we go to our Visual Studio Code. And remember, this is our index, okay? So from here, I can say I have an index page, and here I also have an index page. So a quick one, I don't want to drag this into my project, so I'll just quickly do edit with Notepad++, or you do edit with Notepad. And I'll just copy everything here and dump it on my page. So I'll use it to overwrite everything here. And I save it. So now when I saved it, you see rubbish because it's looking for some styles, it's looking for some CSS, it's looking for some JavaScript and jQuery, and it's looking for some images. So it's not going to show exactly like the way it is. So how do we make it show? The first thing you need to do, please try and get this straight. If you have any question, call me back so that I can quickly attend to it. The first thing you need to do is to start from head to bottom, okay? So we start from head. I'll check the head part. Let's even check the structure of this project. We have head and the closing head, right? We have body and the closing body, and then we have HTML. So we are all used to this format, right? So in the head, let's see, we have a lot of meta tag. This one is specifying the encoding, and this one is specifying the width and the device. So, sir, the question you asked that time also about how does it know which device width and all that? So you can see it comes with it. So this would help it to scale the width of whatever device that is being viewed on using this scale and all that. So we have, if you want to add your description and your meta keywords, everything is here. So we start with our title. What we are building is Developers College. So I start editing from there, Developers College. And then instead of saying index, I say home. That's what I want to see, okay? So the favicon is, is it favicon or favicon? Is what you see here, like this B on your title, this logo that looks like 3, this blue color logo here. So that's what they call the favicon. So it's saying there's a particular favicon in a folder called assets and in another folder called image. Okay, so now looking at all this, remember that when we want to link CSS or JavaScript or whatever, we use this link tag, if you remember our CSS. So that's why they are linking those images and everything in the header to this. Let me open it properly. Okay, so if you notice that, and then there are fonts that some websites work with, so you can just point to it because this is a Google font, or you copy the URL and check it out. So let's copy it and check it out so that we'll know. So the font is just telling you that the font that your site should take. Okay, so instead of you specifying it's Verdana, it's Arial, and all that, so it will pick this font, and all the CSS or the styling for the font is already here. So this is online, and nobody's going to delete it online. So there's no need you downloading it and putting it on your page, because we can download it and save it locally in our file and reference it locally. But since we are sure that this is in googlefontapi.com and it's going to be there forever, then you can be rest assured and just point to it directly. So no need to download it. Okay, so the next one is the CSS files that came with it. A lot of CSS files. This is the one that is working for the carousel, that slider on your page. Okay, so now what I want to bring out is that we notice that all these are pointing to a folder called assets. So because they are pointing to that folder called asset, I will go to that downloaded file and look for a folder called assets. So this is the asset. I want to open it and see what's inside. I can see that there are a lot of other folders, one for all my CSS, another one for all the images. Okay, see a lot of images here. Another one for my JavaScript. And the last one, I'm sure it's for other vendor open source apps that they use, like your Jquery and the rest of them. So that means this asset folder is very important for me. Okay, so instead of toiling with it, I'll just drag it into my project like this. And where am I going to put it inside? I'll put it inside the Developers College folder, not in the workspace. Inside the folder, I'll drop it on it. So it's asking me, add folder to workspace. I'll say no, I want to copy the folder. Okay, so there's a difference between the two. Do you want to copy assets or you want to add it to the workspace? But I want it to be in this folder. So I'll say copy it. So let's see what happens. It creates the folder for me. Can you see immediately I put the folder? If you see, notice what's happening on this side. Everything is what? All the pictures and everything came out. I can drag it. You can see the website is looking like our website now. Okay.
Sorry, you said copy or add?
I said copy.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So when you do the copy, I want everything, all the images, everything I'll be using to be in this folder, so that when I want to host this application online in the hosting company, it's just this Developers College folder I will copy out, and all my images, CSS, styles, and everything will be inside. So you can also drop down to see other folders inside it. You can see your style, double click it to open your style. So by now, everybody should know all these styles and be able to recognize and know how to edit them. Let's say you don't want this first family and want to change it to Verdana. You can just change it. I can't spell that Verdana. It's serious, the one I can spell. Wow, what's going on? Yeah, or something like that. But I don't want to change it for now because I like the font. So let's leave it. So you can do all these changes. So that's why you need to understand them. That's why we went through the class of doing this. But as beautiful as this looks, that we can quickly build our website, it introduces a lot of junks to your site, because so many things here that you will not need by the time you are done. Okay, and they will just be there occupying your space and everything. But never bother about that for now. The goal is that you want to quickly build your project and make it look good. And besides, the company that you are building it for, they are ready to pay for a large space and bandwidth for your project to display properly. Okay, so that's next thing. So now we have all our assets. Having all our assets, we can save. If I save this, I can go to, remember I had my, what's it called now? this our page open. This is still my site. I can refresh it. Is it this? Yeah. Okay, this is the old one. I'm sure this one. Oh, they are now okay because I'm pointing to this address. Okay, that's why. Okay, I need to close one. Okay, so this is it outside when you look at it in the browser, and this is it inside for you to quickly view. So in case you can't see it properly and you think it's not looking fine, you can just come out and see it. But like I said, you need to configure a particular port for it to work. Okay, so that's you can Google how to do that. You can just Google what's the name of this thing? Live server VS Code path. Yeah, something. But let's not go into that. I can watch one of this video to tell you where it is installed and how you can change. Yes, I think this one will talk about it. Let's see if it does. No, it doesn't. Okay, anyway, you can take your time and look at it. I can't remember the path, but the path is always on your local system where you need to change it so that you can also view outside the way I'm viewing mine here. Okay, so let's move on. So now we are still in the head part, right? So with time, we would talk about how to check each of these CSS because they are all CSS files and they are in this separate folder. So in case you want to change or rename your folder, if you don't like this structure, like this vendor now, if you don't want it and you want to bring out everything out, you can do that. But for this class, let's just leave everything the way it is and concentrate on the content of the page because that's what we want to change. Okay, so let's go to the body. Okay, they also put the comment here, disclaimer, blah, 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 blah. I don't think we need all that in our page. I'll remove that. Okay, but it helps you to be able to go back to know where you got the template from in case you want to make some changes. So let's look at what they put in the body. The first thing is the header. I taught us a semantic web where we have the header and we have sections, right? Then we have main, remember, which is going to be your main content. And then we have footer. So you can see the way they structured their page properly. We have the header, we have the section, we have the main, and we have the footer. And they put all their JavaScript at the bottom of the page. Remember, I taught you that you can either put this in the head, in the body, or at the bottom of the page, right? And that is where they should be so that the page will have loaded before the scripts start executing whatever they've written inside. Okay, and jQuery is just a library in JavaScript. We learned JavaScript, but we're not talking about jQuery. So somebody just felt that, okay, JavaScript is so wide. I just need to be able to perform some certain things in JavaScript. So he grouped all those things he wants to perform together and created a framework and called it jQuery. So, and jQuery is very powerful. In fact, Bootstrap was built on it, as you can see, you know, and also your CSS, everybody knows that. So there are a lot of Bootstrap. There's a video, I think I have a 4 hours video on Bootstrap that teaches you how to use a lot of things in Bootstrap and the concepts. But if there is time, we'll still talk about it a little. But our goal is to be able to build this website quickly as possible. So we leave all this, we don't have business with this because I believe everything is working. So let's concentrate on the things we want to do and the layout. Let's go to the page. Okay, so there's a big picture here. The header segment is here. This is the section, and I think this is the main. And then we have the footer. You can see, I told you that sometimes the footer are always very big, and we have a main footer here. So for us to see the structure of this page also, we can do our right click on your page and go to inspect. Let's see the box model for this. Okay, so under elements, you can begin to click on, let's say we go to the body. You have this on this page to show properly. Okay, so how the menu will show. So this is the whole body. We have the header tag that contains, you can see the header tag contains what? This navigation items. So you can see as I'm clicking it, it's highlighting it here. So you can check out the structure. You can see the logo, how they put the logo and everything. And where is the nav menu? You can see the nav. Okay. The next one is the section, which is the arrow. So this slider was put under the section part. This slider. Okay, they just use it to have a section and they put a carousel. Carousel is a jQuery or JavaScript framework that they use to slide things. You have a lot of libraries of carousel that can do that. Like this one is just going left. You can do another one that will just be flying and all that. A lot of things you can do. And then we have our main. This is our main page. Okay. So we have our main page. And then we have the footer, which is this. So this is how this page has been laid out. Okay. So now it's beautiful. This is good. So when we move from one page to another, and I move to About Us, you can see that it's showing an error because there's no About Us in our page. Do you understand? We have not created an About Us.html. So, but we are trying to navigate there, and it's complaining. So what we can do is to create an About Us so that it can navigate there. And the navigation is happening in our header. So let's deal with our header page. So little by little, you'll now be modifying this page to suit whatever you want it to do. Okay, so let's start with the header. In the header, we have the ID and we say fixed stop. Fixed stop means that as you are scrolling on the page, you can see the head is not moving, it's still stuck there. But the page is moving down. It's like it's entering into it. Can I get a response? Can we see that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if I remove that fixed stop, that will not happen. I'll save it. Let's refresh. Okay, it's refreshing itself. Can you see that? You can't see the header again. Once you leave, it's gone. It's up. So the whole page scrolls. But when you use a free stop, so those are the bootstrap CSS that you need to learn. Okay, fixed stop is one of the CSS bootstrap CSS. Okay, so and all this other one, the container, this deflex is normal. It's normal CSS. Okay, now let's look at the logo. Here, I have the logo here. It's called Sailor, but we are building developers website, developers college website. So it's either I type developers college here, or I decide to put our school logo there. So it's left to me. So if you can see, beauty of using templates, they've even told us that on comment below if you prefer to use an image logo. So instead of using this text, I can uncomment this line and I can use a logo, right? So, but you must have a logo before you can do that. So if you see what they did for this, they put an H1, which I header tag, and inside it, they put an anchor tag. So that when you click on it, it's clickable, it takes you back to the home page. Okay, beautiful. So we can just say developers college. Okay, immediately it shows there. Yeah, so it shows. Okay, but I don't like it this way. It's not still good looking. Also, I might decide that, okay, I want a logo. But where do I have my logo? This there's an image tag here. So I will comment this line. Okay, I will comment this line and see there's an image tag that's looking for image.png. So because these two tags, if I leave it like this, this image logo does not exist. How do you know it does not exist? It's saying you should go into the folder assets, go into the folder img, and look for logo.png. So I'll go into asset. This is assets. This img. Is there anything like logo here? No hell, nothing. Okay, so it doesn't exist. So what I can do is I can look for my own logo somewhere and put it on the page. So you can, we should also not forget that website designing goes along with graphics. although we're not talking about graphics in this project, but you should also know how to design graphics so that your page can look beautiful. So I'm dragging the logo down there. Okay, so I have dev call logo. As you can see, I would, instead of using this logo, you can change it to the name of your file, dev call underscore logo. Thank God it's also a PNG. So I save. So can you see the logo as tiny as it is there? Okay, so it's not beautiful at all. Okay, so I can decide to leave it this way, or I say no. You know what? I don't even want this. I don't want this. I don't want this first one there. Let's do it this way. Let's comment this guy out. So how fast you can do this design depends on you. You understand? So now this class image fluid is the one that makes when your
one question.
Yes, sir.
The question is, don't you have to resize the logo if you are transferring it from your file to the page?
Yes,
doesn't mean you have to resize, or you can resize.
Yeah, you can resize. You can give this image size, maybe width and height. Let's check the width, the current width. From where did I copy it from? You can see it's very big, 138 by 138. That's the width and height, the same thing. It's a very big image, but when it gets to my page, it becomes what? Very small, right? Because there's a Bootstrap class acting on it. Okay, this image fluid, and image fluid is not just what made it small. Image fluid is making it that even if you are squeezing the page, as you are squeezing the page, dragging and making it big on different devices, it's responding to the sizes. You can see this is Bootstrap that is letting your page squeeze itself to every device that will be calling it, right? So even if I remove the image fluid right now, it will not get bigger. Okay, but the only problem is that whatever size it is, when you are now squeezing, if that size may not change, it's still the same thing throughout. Okay, so now if you now want to enforce your width and height, you can do that to suit your taste. Let's see. It's because let's use 500 px. Can you see now?
Yes.
Yeah, height. Okay, so it's the beauty of using a template is that you can make a lot of changes as you want. So, but the outcome, you should be ready to face the consequence. See what I've done, I've spoiled my image. Do you understand now?
Yes.
This image. Let's try to remove this image and see what it will look like. Okay. It's now worse. Do you understand now? So now what is responsible for this? I'll tell you. Let me make the height 1000. Okay, so now there's something that must be in the header that you can see the height did not take effect, right?
Yes.
There's something that must be in the header. There's a class that has been defined for the header that's responsible for this. It's a lot of work, but you have to go and find it. So when you do logo, I can say logo. Let me do Ctrl F, find logo. So can you see in style.css, a style has been defined for logo. And font weight, line weight, padding, and everything, and font size has been defined for it. Okay, let's do for logo image. They have said the maximum height it can have is what? 40
px.
Okay, so these are the things you need to edit yourself. So this is where your skills as a web developer comes in. Okay, so when you notice something like this, can you see now, immediately I remove that thing and save, it's now showing my original size that I gave it, but my whole page is scattered. So you need to know how to go into all this CSS and change. So let's say, for example, you don't understand what this is doing. How would you be able to change it? See, this hash, what do we call hash in CSS? It's an ID, right?
Yes.
Remember, so the ID of what? Header. So anything inside this header, if it's an image, the height can never be more than 40. That's what they have set. Do you understand? So, and they are saying, okay, in this header, if you see a class called logo, okay, this is a class called logo. And if in the class, there's an image, logo image. So that's the progression. You go to the header, you look for logo class, and you look for an image tag, then apply this star to it. Okay, so I can intelligently say, okay, I want 200 px. So now that I've disabled the general whatever, I can now determine to try to style it to my own. Okay, but the ball is in your court. The way you style it, that's the way your website will look like. So now it's looking like what I want now. Okay, so now let's see, and it has also made my header bigger. You can see the space is so big because of this size. So people that design the templates, they know what they are doing. You understand? So you as a designer, you have the ability to change whatever you want to change. So let's try and squeeze it and see how it is. Okay. Okay. So another thing you should notice is that when we are squeezing, moving to mobile, our menu used to do what? Disappear. Okay. And we can click here to see our menu. So that's the work of Bootstrap. This is called collapsible menu. I can't remember what they call it. Okay, that's work of, but your menu is still accessible. Okay, and your page still looks fine. So depending on what we want to do. So if this is the site you feel it's okay, then you have it. But I can go ahead and say, okay, I don't just want dev core, because if somebody should come to this site and just see dev core, then he begins to wonder, okay, what is dev core? You know, he won't know it's developers college. So I might still say I still want the name there. Still want that developers college in there. So I might do it this way. Just a minute. Okay, so like after the image, I might just say I still want to type developers college. So both the logo and the name shows. That's left to you. That's left to you. What you want to do, what you want your page to look like. But now it's becoming chaos. You see? So I can decide to enforce this back. Okay, and remove my height and width. Then it makes a little sense, a bit. Okay, and have this on my website. Do you understand? So this might work for me, but I don't like the red color. Another thing you need to note is that the themes of the template that you stole, this is where we stole it from. If you look at the theme, it's red and white majorly, and then black. You can see all the icons are in red, all the cards are in red, and everything is in red. So you can decide to change this theme also. Maybe you don't want the red color, so you need to go to your style and see where this is done. That's our style. So you can go to your style, see the color. Okay, we are running out of time again. This color is the color defined, and they said for every anchor tag, you should do what? Every anchor tag should be red. Even when you hover, hover means that when you move your mouse to an anchor tag, and you know what anchor tag is? All this tag, all these links, the anchor tag. So when you move your mouse, it should show red. Do you understand? So you can change all this. I can say when I hover, I don't want it to be red. I want it to be, which color will show just now? Show me color. Okay, if you don't show me color, I will do my color. I want it to be blue. Since you don't want to show me the extra decimal color, I can do it myself. Okay, so let's go and hover. No, it's not working. Anchor over. Which other one? Text separation, none. Yeah, should work. Okay, so if it doesn't work, remember the rules of CSS. That means there's another CSS in the header that's what's overriding that. Okay, let's see every other anchor. Oh, sorry, this is not my page. This is the online page. Can you see? This is not the page I'm working on. Let's go to my own page and see whether it's taking effect. Okay, so we can't still see the effect because I can't see it here. Let's go down. Do we see other anchor tag? Everything is still showing in. Okay, so nothing is working. So we have to look for this saying in the body. Okay, every anchor tag should have this color. So let's look for the header and see if there's an anchor declared in the header. Okay, so can you see the color declared? Let's see. So you can see this color. This, before I move the mouse, the color is like one gray color, right? Okay, so this is where they defined it. Let's see where they define over. Nothing. Is there any over defined here? Scroll, header. Let's try and see. It's just this one that was defined. So by default, they are supposed to inherit. Okay, nav menu. Let's see nav menu. Okay, this is color, the same color, but over you have red. Okay, so now let's do this way. I'm going to put green here. Sorry, I'm going to undo everything I've done. It's just to be able to check and be sure that this thing is working. Can you see now? The green takes effect. Who knows why the upper one is not working and this last one that I changed now works? According to the CSS that we did, who can explain? Sorry, am I alone here?
We are here, sir.
The question, which upper one?
Remember that when I came to the CSS, I saw anchor tag hover. Hover means that when you move a mouse on something, on any anchor tag, when you move mouse on it, you can see it's changing color, right? So that means when you move mouse on it, the color it should change to. That's what hover means, okay? So I changed the color to blue, but still when I hover on it, it was showing red. I now came down and I thought that, okay, probably there's another CSS that's overriding what the page is doing. So I came down and I was looking at header. So when I got to header, I started looking for anchor tag. And I got to see an anchor tag here, but this color is just displaying the color of the text, not hover. So I can't find any hover. So I decided to go down to go to the navigation menu, since what I was trying to change is the what? Navigation. This is the navigation menu, right? And when I came down, I saw hover somewhere, which is this, and I changed it to green. And the green took effect, right? So now my question is, why didn't the red I put up work? This one. Why is it that it is the green that work? Can anybody explain it? Okay, if nobody understands it, it's simple. Remember,
it's the pattern of. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think it's a pattern of execution, like you said. Anything that you do before, by the time you go down again, it executes on the basis of line. So the one that comes later, given the fact that it's presented menu,
yes,
that's the header.
Thank you very much.
Overrides
Yeah.
what's the
Yeah, you got it right. Thank you. That's what I was expecting. So now, if you see in the header, we have header. So many things are in the header, right? So we declare some class in the header, okay? But before we go to the header, we have the body. Can you see? So we also define some things in the body. One of the things that we define in the body is what we have up here. Body, color, all these ones that don't have child, that are just there on their own, they will apply to the body once you declare them like this, right? So we have declared that on this body, on the page body, anywhere here, when you see an anchor tag and you move your mouse on it, change the color to blue, okay? And so that should have worked. But meanwhile, in the header, we have something we call a nav. This is your navigation menu. And your navigation menu is the one that is now holding those menu, your anchor tag. Okay. So now in the navigation menu, we also define, where is it again? Here. That anything, you can see the nav menu, see the class nav menu. This is the class nav menu. So whenever you see this class nav menu and you find an anchor tag inside the class, where is the anchor tag? Here. Then apply this color to it. Okay, so that's why the anchor tag and all the menu are appearing in this color, this gray color, right? So we now further went down, say for anything in that class nav menu, if you see an anchor tag and when you hover on it, turn it to green. Okay, so now this one has overridden the definition that we declared in the body. Remember, I taught us when we were doing style sheets, okay? And we said inline used to override the embedded CSS, and then the embedded CSS used to override what we define in the external CSS. Now, this is in external CSS. There's still hierarchy in external CSS. And the hierarchy is like this. You define something in the body. If you define anything in another inside element, it will override whatever you have defined in the body, and that's why this did not work. Okay, so if we want to prove that another way, we can decide to comment all this out. Let's say I deleted all this, okay, and I save. Remember, the color I declared up here is what? Blue, right? So I deleted all that and I saved and I refresh. So now it's not even showing me anything anymore. I think I deleted some other things I'm not supposed to delete. I just undo everything. Okay, that's removed all my stuff. Okay, anyway, the point I'm just trying to bring out is that internal, when you now define another internal color, it overrides the one at the top. So in my case, body, something was defined for the body, but another thing was defined for the nav. So the nav one takes preeminence before it can look at the one that is declared in the body. So let's not flog that. As you continue to edit and change styles, you understand these things better. So in case you don't know, it's sometimes very confusing and painful and time wasting when you don't know exactly what is going on and you are trying to change a color and you now decide to change this color and it's not taking effect. You now be wondering, but it's supposed to work. You know, that could be very time wasting. So just try understand what you are doing and focus on achieving it. We have less than a minute, so please try to join back when the meeting goes off any moment from now. Okay, so let's leave the style and go back to the content. So we are done with our menu. So we can decide to change the menu.